Hi guys, so welcome to my channel. So today I am at Chennai International Airport. Me and my best friend are traveling to Sri Lanka, and this is our very first international trip. So we actually boarded. We are going to board a flight from Chennai because the flight rates were much cheaper from Chennai compared to Bangalore. So, and in case anyone is traveling from Chennai, so make sure you have a buffer of at least 5 to 6 hours, because in case there's a delay in train or bus, so you'll still make it on time. So if anyone's traveling from Bangalore to Chennai and then boarding a flight from Chennai, so please keep this in mind. See ya, bye bye.
Start with, I booked my flights from Chennai to Colombo from Sri Lankan Airlines. The ticket prices were quite cheap compared to the Bangalore prices. We almost got like 50% lesser than the Bangalore price, and the flight was super smooth. But make sure you fill out the ETA form for entering Sri Lanka, because it is not mandatory. They may not even ask you during the immigration, but it's always safer to have that filled. It's really simple to fill that form. It is completely free and faster. You will get the approval within few hours itself. As soon as we landed in Colombo, we got our SIM card at the airport. Dialog and Mobitel are the best network coverages in the country. So the SIM card gets activated in just 5 minutes. Also, we got our currency exchanged at the airport, only $50. The remaining we got it exchanged at the city center, because we will get the higher exchange rates in the city. Alright, so let's get started. Here's how our day one began. So just outside the airport, there's a small bus stand. So instead of taking a cab to Kandy, we decided to hop onto a local bus, which is about like 3 hours journey from Colombo. And honestly, it was a great start to the trip, full on local vibes and budget friendly. Once we reached Kandy, we took a tuk-tuk using the Pick Me app, which is the Sri Lankan version of Uber, and reached our hostel. We stayed at Kandy Backpackers Hostel. Then our first stop was the famous Temple of the Tooth, which is one of the famous Buddhist temples in Sri Lanka. So it has such calm and divine energy inside the temple. So right next to it, there is a beautiful Kandy lake, which is perfect for an evening walk. Around 5 p.m, we went for the traditional cultural dance show. It was absolutely amazing. The drums, the fire dance, the colors and whatnot. The energy was completely unmatched. So this happens every day from 5 to 6 p.m. So do not miss this if you're in Kandy. So by the time we came back, it was 7:30 in the evening. So our hostel had prepared a complimentary dinner for us, a simple, authentic Sri Lankan food. Rice, dal, coconut sambal and okra curry. So it was such a homely meal after a long day of travel. That is the end for day one. After a long day of travel, but a perfect start to the trip.
So hi guys, this is how my day 2 went. So the hostel helped us arrange the tuk-tuk driver who would take us to a lot of places from Kandy to Nuwara Elia, and trust me, the driver was so good. Like, he was really sweet, he was really friendly and helpful too. And I'll just mention his number in the below, so if anyone's traveling you can contact him, and he took care of us really well. So our first stop was the Kandy viewpoint, and what a view! You can literally see the entire city from there, the hills, the temples and the lake also. So it was a very peaceful place. So the next we visited was Askiri Pagoda. It's a peaceful Buddhist temple surrounded by lush greenery. It's really quiet and peaceful. Next we went to the Big Buddha temple. It's the tallest Buddha statues in Kandy, and the view from the top is breathtaking. After that, we visited the Gem Museum. Kandy is known for its gemstones, and we really got to see all kinds of gemstones and how they polish and design them. It is so beautiful. On the way, we crossed the longest river in Sri Lanka, the Mahaveli River, and we also stopped by the Kandy War Cemetery. So the next spot was really special. We went to the herbal garden. Everything is natural and organic here, from oils to Ayurvedic medicines, and people were so warm. They even made us fresh coconut sambal and chapati made with coconut flour. It was honestly a wholesome experience. We also visited a wood carving workshop where we got to see how each piece is carved with so much detailing. It's so beautiful how, the patience that they have. It's really incredible to see their work. And then came the highlight of the day, the Ambuluwawa Tower. It's that iconic spiral tower that most of you all would have seen online. It is one of the incredible adventure that you could try in Sri Lanka. So once you climb the top, you would get the 360-degree view of the hills, clouds and the mist around. So it's just amazing. It's out of words. You guys have to experience it. Okay, so we also stopped at the Hanuman temple. It is surrounded by green hills and calm energy. And we also stopped by the Ramboda waterfalls. It is so refreshing. It is on the way to Nuwara. So our last stop was the tea factory. They took us around and explained us the entire tea making process, and they also gave us some freshly brewed tea samples. So the aroma itself was so refreshing. So after a long but beautiful day too, we finally reached Nuwara Eliya and checked into our Airbnb. We stayed at Sun and Moon Hotel. It is honestly one of the beautiful stays that I have ever been to. So we had informed the host that we would be coming around 7:30. So they had cooked us an authentic Sri Lankan meal. But if you have time, I would suggest you to book an extra day at Nuwara Eliya and explore the hill station. It's a beautiful, peaceful and charming hill town. So since we didn't have time, we had to leave to Ella the next day, so we couldn't explore it. But I would suggest you to book an extra day at Nuwara Eliya. So the next morning, we had to leave to Ella. So we booked a tuk-tuk and went to the Nano Oya railway station. Now comes the most iconic experiences in Sri Lanka. The train ride from Nuwara Eliya to Yella. It is one of the most beautiful train rides you would have ever visited. You can buy the tickets directly at the railway station on a weekday, but if you're planning to travel on a weekend, I would suggest you to book the tickets well in advance from the website, else it would get really packed. You may not get the reservation seats. So this train ride itself was truly magical. Endless mountains and endless tea estates, and every frame felt like a postcard. So if you are in Sri Lanka, you must take this train ride for sure. So we reached Yella around 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and from there we found another tuk-tuk driver and we headed straight to our stay. So we stayed at an amazing Airbnb called the Sunlit Cottage. It is entirely made of bamboo, surrounded by greenery, and the view from the balcony was just breathtaking. So after freshening up, we went out to explore. So even in Ella, we found a tuk-tuk driver who was really sweet enough, and he took us to around 3 to 4 places because we just had the second half of the day. So I'll just mention his number also, so if anyone's traveling, you can contact him. So our first stop was the Ravana Cave. It is about 500 meters trek uphill, and the climb takes a little bit of effort, but then it is totally worth it because it's so peaceful on top and the view makes it worth it. Then after that, around 100 meters from there, there is a Ravana temple that is also really peaceful and quiet. You can visit there also. So after that, we took a small break and grabbed a fresh mango milkshake after all the walk and trek and all of that. So next we headed to Sri Lanka's most famous spot, the Nayanak Bridge. So most of you all would have seen it all over the Instagram, but seeing it in person is something else. So the old bridge surrounded by lush jungle, and when the train passes through, it's honestly magical. From there we went to the Little Adams Peak. It's a short trek of around 20 to 30 minutes, and you can get an amazing sunset view from the top. But I would suggest you to go a bit early because post 6 p.m. They wouldn't allow you to go up as it would get dark, and we just made it in time and we could witness the sunset. After spending some time there, we then headed back to our stay. So a small suggestion would be that all the restaurants and nearby hotels, they close by around 7 to 7:30. So I would suggest you guys to call the hotel and then inquire if they are going to provide the dinner, or you can just grab it on the way you go to the stay. And that was the wrap for day 3. From scenic train rides to the charm of Yella, everything was just so beautiful. So our day 4 started on with such a peaceful note. We had our complimentary breakfast at our stay with the same stunning views of the mountains, and after that we called the same tuk-tuk driver who took us to the places on the previous day. So our first stop was the Doha temple. It was really quite spiritual and surrounded by lush greenery. From there we headed to the Ravana waterfalls. You can actually see it right from the roadside, and it's one of the most popular waterfalls in Sri Lanka, and you can spend some time there and enjoy the view. Next we went to the Bella Bella waterfalls, and honestly the place is known for its adventure activities. I tried the waterfall abseiling for the first time, and it was such an adrenaline rush. Water splashing all around you while you go down. To reach the waterfall, it is around 30 minutes trek, but it's a little bit tiring, but it's totally worth it once you reach the base. From there we started our journey to Mirisa, and we took a local bus to a nearby village, and from there we took a bus to Mirisa. So just a small suggestion, if you're traveling to Mirisa or Galle, make sure to check the bus timings in advance because the direct buses are very limited. So we finally reached Mirisa around 8 p.m. and our tuk-tuk driver was kind enough to stop by our place so we could grab our dinner. So after that we headed straight to our Airbnb. So in Mirisa we stayed at F&F Seashore Villa, which is right beside the beach. So it was really beautiful. So yeah, that was the wrap for day 4, and from the mountain views to waterfalls and ending the day by the beach, it was all just perfect. So day 5 was all about exploring the southern coast of Sri Lanka. So we started by renting a two-wheeler in Mirisa, and trust me, it was honestly one of the best and flexible ways to explore the nearby places. From Mirisa, we began our ride towards Galle, which is around 40 kilometers away, and the ride itself was so scenic that the roads run right along the coastal with ocean views almost the entire way. On the way, we stopped by a random little beach. It was so quiet and so beautiful. After that, we reached Galle Fort. It was super sunny that day, but totally worth it. The fort area has so many cute cafes. It is full of history. You can see the old walls and the lighthouse and many cute cafes. From there, we explored the Portugal Street, which is one of the most aesthetic spots inside the fort. Then we headed to the Talpe beach. It is known for its crystal clear blue water and natural swimming pool that are formed by rocks. The best part here is that you can feed and swim with the turtles, and it was absolute amazing experience. After spending some time there, we then headed back to Mirisa and went to the secret beach for sunset. As the name fits perfectly, yes, this is hidden, peaceful, and the most beautiful sunset spots in Mirisa. After sunset, we then stopped by a cozy little cafe for dinner, and that's how our day 5 went. Turtles, sunset, beaches and long rides, which made it extra special. So our day 6 started on with a calm note in Mirisa. We went snorkeling with sea turtles, but the water isn't as clear as Talpe beach, so I would really suggest you to snorkel or swim in the Talpe beach because it's very clean and there's much more better visibility there. So we took another beautiful scenic train ride from Veligama to Colombo, and this train runs right along the coastal sides, and you can see the waves crashing just a few meters away, and also you can see the golden sunset on the beach. It was such a dreamy journey. We reached Colombo around 6:30 p.m. in the evening, and we checked into our hostel. So in Colombo we stayed at Gale Terrace Hostel. It's a perfect place for backpackers and travelers. After checking in, we decided to take a short walk around the city, exploring the local streets and soaking in the city vibes. So this is the final day at Sri Lanka. We woke up, got ready and went to explore a little bit of Colombo. So first we visited the Petta floating market, and then we visited the iconic Colombo National Museum. We then visited the Colombo Central Mall. You can also visit the famous Gangaramaya temple. So we actually didn't have time, so we couldn't visit. And yes, after that it was time for us to head back to the airport and board the flight. So if you enjoyed this vlog, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Drop your questions in the comments and I'll help you plan your next Sri Lanka itinerary too. Thank you for watching. See you in my next travel adventure. Bye bye.